Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is a beautiful and very warm Tuesday night here in Northeast Texas. It is August 18th, 2026. Thanks for making this part of your week. Yeah, the summer's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter down here. I don't know how it is where you people are, but there's some heat waves going on, some thunderstorms in some areas. I got a friend of mine who said a big storm came through here. She lives in like central Georgia, but anyway, we're here with another edition of our show. Of course, I'm Tim McClellan. Riding home from the Mets game is the host of Hooked on Sports, John Fan. And of course, down here our league commissioner, John Vitale.
Yeah,
Fellas, how we doing?
Howdy,
yeah,
howdy, howdy, everybody.
yeah. I'm
Happy
doing.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm so excited for football season that I have already released my New York Giants 53 man roster prediction.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting indeed. So we are getting closer. As you can see, I've updated my note here. 22 days away from the start of the season.
Hmm.
Just 22 days away, which also means we are only 16 days away from our league draft.
Yeah.
Don't forget, folks, special edition of Fantasy Football Fever, Friday night, September 4th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, actually, it's going to be at 9:15 p.m. Eastern, 8:15 Central, and we will actually go on the air 15 minutes before our draft actually starts at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. So get excited for that. This week, we're continuing our fantasy ranking series. We're focusing on the running backs this week, and each one of us has made a list of the top 50 fantasy running backs, and we will be revealing those lists in just a little while. But of course, we get started with big news from this past week. We go to the hot topics. And probably the hottest topic of the last few days is my Dallas Cowboys signing former Super Bowl veteran defenseman Von Miller to a 1 year deal. It says it's worth up to $5.5 million, but it could be worth up to $7.5 million.
How
So,
about them
getting
Cowboys?
yeah, how about them Cowboys?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get that up there. Yeah, we found it. I got my mistake. Yeah, that's what I was shouting about that here. And of course, Jerry earlier in the summer said that he wasn't quite done making some big deals here. So
Mm.
you think he may have gotten a big one right here.
I want me some glory hole.
Yeah. Now, in my opinion, this is a pretty darn gutsy move right here. I mean, as he says, he's won a couple of Super Bowls. He won with Denver. He won with the Rams. He spent a lot of time in Buffalo. Now he comes to Dallas, and although he is 37 years old, he's up there. But he could not only be like a player, but he could also be a mentor to some of the young guys on the defense, especially for our two big draft picks, Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence. So, Flynn, your thoughts on Miller to the Cowboys?
I mean, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, I think you have to be happy that the Cowboys are continuing to build. I think it's a pretty solid roster throughout, and the Cowboys must have gotten an impression that Von Miller still has some gas left in the tank in his in his Hall of Fame career. And I think this helps. I think the Cowboys could use more depth on the defensive line. I think that's been a little bit of a weakness I felt with the roster going into the season. So it certainly helps there. And Tim, you nailed it on the other side of things, being a mentor because Von Miller knows what it takes to win championships. He, of course, won a couple of them. And now with a completely new defense, and Christian Parker is a Vic Fangio disciple, and he played a little bit under Vic Fangio when he was still with Denver, so he has some familiarity with what is expected out of his defense. So I think that's a really solid fit as well for the Dallas Cowboys. So I think you have to like it from a Cowboy perspective, and I wouldn't be surprised if people talk about the Cowboys with some logic attached to it as maybe being a threat potentially to the Rams in the NFC.
Yeah, absolutely. Natalie, your thoughts?
The Cowboys virtually got a steal here. Yeah, he may be old, but he's not playing like an old guy. He plays like he's 10 years younger. He still has that mentality. He's still physically fit. He can still make tackles. He can still blitz. He can still do it all.
Yeah, it'll be the same. Now, it looks like they're probably not going to use him in any type of way as far as on the field for the Cowboys' next two preseason games. They're probably going to go ahead and hold him to get them ready for week one against the New York Football Giants. So I think Jerry did a little dancing again, don't you think?
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
Because I've danced with the devil, the financial devil, and lived to tell about it.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting. Oh, speaking of the New York Football Giants, a couple days ago, the Giants signed former Steeler running back Najee Harris to a one-year deal. I'm not sure about the terms and conditions on that deal. Maybe Flynn can help me out a little bit on this one. And how does he fit in with the offense for the Giants?
Yeah, I think you need to have like other options for the Giants in terms of the running back room. I mean, it is pretty interesting to say the least because when you have Scatterboo, Tracy, Devin Singletary, and then you throw in a guy like like Najee Harrison. It's definitely going to be an interesting track in terms of how the touches are configured. Now, it's not always going to be the case that all four running backs are going to be active on a weekly basis, but it definitely is going to bring a little bit of competition for the RB2 spot. Although Tyrell Tracy missed a block, which led to a Jackson Dart getting slammed on a sack in the Giants preseason game the other day against the Vikings. So we don't know if that had to do with them bringing in Najee Harris, but Najee Harris worked last year with Greg Roman with the Chargers, so there's definitely that connection over there. So I think so we'll see how it goes. It's a low risk, high reward move, and now you wonder if this impacts Tyrone Tracy's fantasy value and even more so Devin Singletary's as well. Is he going to eat into some of the touches that he's going to have? So, fortunately, I dealt with the ranking. I compiled my rankings after Najee Harris signed, so mine is reflected on the table, I believe. So, it's-
Yeah, I pretty much just see it at the depth piece. I don't think he's going to make the roster at all. I just don't see it. I think, barring something really crazy, if Tyrone Tracy or like Devin Singletary do something like incredibly dumb, then I think that's the only way I see Harris cracking the roster. I mean, maybe he'll make it on special teams, but I highly doubt he's going to sign just to play on special teams. But I honestly just don't see. I don't see him cracking the roster, barring something really crazy. Yeah, I already got one thing right. Juju Smith-Schuster did not make the roster. He was the corresponding move. He got cut in place of Najee Harris.
I knew that was a waste of time having Juju Smith-Schuster on there.
Yeah. So yeah, I predicted 7 wide receivers to make the roster. Juju was not one of them. Because yeah, my 7 are obviously Neighbors, Darnell Mooney, Malachi Fields. That's my 3. Calvin Austin, and then I have OBJ cracking the roster. Braxton Berrios, but however, just as a return specialist. Man, I forgot who my 7th was. Who the heck did I put my number 7?
I don't know, but I still sound surprised that OBJ is back with the Giants here.
I think he is going to make the roster.
So you have Neighbors, Slayton, Mooney, Austin, Malachi Fields, OBJ.
That's who I missed. Slayton. That was who I forgot. That's who I missed. Darius Slayton.
So,
but Berrios is only going to be a return specialist. So technically 6.
I see. Okay, well, let's go here. Oh, speaking of running backs, looks like Kenneth Gainwell is getting getting a good bit of praise from Bucks quarterback Baker Mayfield. Of course, Gainwell signed a 2-year, $14 million contract in March to play in Tampa Bay. So he'll be alongside Bucky Irving and Emeka Egbuka. But let's see here. So if you had to put him 1, 2, 3, how would you put him?
Yeah.
I think Kenneth Gainwell, Bucky Irving seems to be a popular option in like the 5th round or 6th round of fantasy drafts. But I think with this commentary, I think you might suggest having someone else and to be your team's RB2 in a 12-team league. So and Bucky Irving was a little dinged up last year due to injuries. And so I think with that being the canvas here, definitely not what you definitely not what you were hoping for Bucky Irving's standpoint. And honestly, Kenneth Gainwell seems like a really good good candidate to be a productive handcuff candidate this year.
Yeah, so very interesting triad right there with Mayfield and Irving and Egbuka. So to see how things play out in Bucks camp over the next couple of weeks and see what happens here. I have a couple of notes of little injuries that have come out right here. Over in Arizona, their top draft pick, their rookie running back Jeremiah Love, has an ankle sprain. Reports say it might be between 2 and 6 weeks before he gets fully healed. So maybe he may be ready for the start of the season, or maybe he'll have to sit out a few games. So they'll just have to. So it looks like they'll just have to keep an eye on their rookie running back right there.
Yeah, and if he can't go, that means Tyler Algier is going to be a must start in week 1 in fantasy. If that's the case.
Yeah. So, like I said, they'll
Yeah,
push for Algier.
yeah, I mean, think about Algier that he had a breakout at the end of 22, then with Atlanta, the Falcons draft Bijan, 3 years with him being the backup, but then he signs with Arizona, then here is Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, and I would not have picked Jeremiah Love at number 3, despite how much I love watching him play at Notre Dame. I probably would have taken either the wide receiver or a defensive player. But yeah, I think that's going to be something definitely to watch, and it's definitely it's a tough, very very tough first couple of months for the Cardinals, starting with their Week 1 matchup against the Chargers in LA.
Yep. And looks like we have to say hello. Oh, Vampire Luke. He says, can't stay, but dropping by to say hello. Well, we're glad you did. Glad you did, buddy. And we
we'll see you in a couple weeks for the draft.
Yeah, if we don't see you before then, I hope to see you at the draft time. So stick around, buddy. Good seeing you. And looks like we have some other injury news here. Looks like Jets running back Breece Hall is going to be out 2 to 3 weeks with a groin injury. To keep an eye on that. So it looks like this injury is not going to be very serious. But of course, with the New York Jets being the New York Jets, they need all the help they can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Breece Hall has been. I mean, the injury bug has hampered him a little bit over the last couple of years. Because he had the injury. I think was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, which cost him a good chunk of time. So Braylon Allen's stock goes up if in fact Mr. Hall can't go. So you have that as well. Also, Saints rookie wide receiver Jordan Tyson suffered a hamstring injury last week, and he's going to miss 2 months. So he was the 8th overall pick of the draft last year, this past spring. But look, Jordan Tyson had some hamstring issues. This was the same hamstring injury that bothered him when he was at Arizona State. So it's definitely not. That's definitely why I was pretty as a Giants fan, I was pretty happy that he was off the board at 10. So definitely have that.
Yeah. In fact, a little bit earlier today, Natalie actually sent an image to our Facebook chat, and I actually printed it out. I wanted to take a good look at this list of injuries right here. Some key names here. Yeah, we mentioned Jeremiah Love, James Conner. Doesn't really have a timetable. Doesn't have much of a timetable on his injury here. Michael Penix Jr. for Atlanta's recovering from an ACL. Looking down here, looks like Devontae Smith, Mekhi Lemon, and Tank Bigsby for the Eagles. Smith and Lemon have hamstrings. Bigsby with a toe issue. Looks like McCaffrey has a little bit of muscle tightness.
And also with McCaffrey's situation, like if there wasn't a joint practice against the Chargers ahead of their preseason game against each other, I mean, if it was just a regular practice, he would have been practicing today, but he was held down for practice.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like backup running backs for San Francisco. There's various ones there. George Kittle dealing with an Achilles right now. So yeah, looks like pretty interesting names here on this list here. But just keep an eye out for that for the next couple of weeks when as the preseason starts to wind down a little bit. Of course, everybody's got 2 games left, and take a little time off, and then get ready for the Wednesday night home opener or Wednesday night opener.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's here. Oh, let's see here. It looks to me. There was something else I noticed about a few days ago. Um, it looks to me. Let me see if I can find that sound. We had a couple player, at least a couple players getting a little bit of trouble here.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, it looks like a few suspensions was handed down over the last few days. Big one right here, James Pierce Jr., pass rusher for Atlanta.
Mm.
He just got served with an 8-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy. It was a domestic dispute that occurred back in February, which includes 3 felony counts: aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, fleeing and eluding police, and resisting an officer with violence.
Jesus.
So, yeah, he got 8 games. So he's going to be suspended for the first 8 games of the season. And I mean, Atlanta is going to have to get all the defensive help they can get since he's going to be sitting out for that amount of time. So, and it looks like what's this? Nazeeh Johnson. It's Nazeeh. He's a cornerback for the Tennessee Titans. He just got served a 6-game suspension for violating the PED policy. He said he was taking a fertility drug because he and his girlfriend or wife or something, they wanted to have a child, but it looks like that particular drug is pretty much banned by the NFL. So looks like he's going to be out for the first 6 games on the Titans schedule. So yeah, it's not good there. But any other news and notes that I may have passed up?
And Tim, I think you should also note that Josh Jacobs is dealing with a groin injury for the Packers. It also looks like that Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf are dealing with undisclosed injuries with the Steelers. So we'll see as to how that transpires. So.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned Malik Neighbors still recovering from the ACL. He did manage to avoid getting on that PUP list, so at least that's a good sign right there.
It's crazy that he's going to be playing week 1. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, so Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy from Texas. He's dealing with his shoulder injury. He's been doing 7-on-7 drills. So they say he's banged up. Tyquan Thornton may be the next in line. So you might want to consider that player there.
Or you can always go with Cyrus Allen, who a lot of people think is going to be the next Puka Nacua.
Oh, Cyrus Allen. I'm going to have to check out that name here. So, Yep, pretty good. Pretty good guys getting banged up in the preseason, but
Yep.
I guess that's just the way it goes here. So
Yeah. So Keon Coleman suffered a sprain just now, just recently. I'm just going through here just to make sure there's nothing else.
right.
The
Keon
Falcons
Coleman
signed
from Buffalo.
Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything else here.
The young wideout for Chicago, that would be Luther Beast of Burden dealing with a groin injury. So if he misses any time, so that would be a huge boost to both Roma Doomsday and to Roma Doomsday and Colston Loveland, who I kind of have high marks for Colston Loveland this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I mean, Colson Loveland is a consensus top 4 at worst tight ends.
Yep.
As you guys who watched the podcast 2 weeks ago saw.
yep. Seeing him having a good season, so lots of names there. But just keep up with the injured reports. That's one of the most important things in fantasy. Keep up with the injured list. See who you got on the backup. Yep, that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the way we do things around here. And just like the coach says,
hello, you play to win the game.
That is the absolute truth there. So I guess we could go on and you want to reveal our top 10s right now, or?
Yeah, let's actually reveal our trivia questions first, because I have a fascinating one for you guys to have.
Ooh. Okay, so Flynn has one. I know Natalie has one, and I did come up with one. But the problem with my question is I may have asked this question before, but I'm not sure. I may have asked it either last season or I don't know when, so let's go ahead and get this trivia going. Flynn,
you go. How about you go first, Tim, since you haven't done one in a while?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Alrighty then. So, since we're talking about running backs tonight, my question is this. Which NFL running back holds the record for most career receiving yards? Now we know that the great Emmitt Smith holds the record for rushing yards. Hello. Where the hell that come from?
Where do you think it came from?
Oh! It came from. You all gonna say? I guess somebody honking the horn there. So anyway, in case, so yes, Emmitt Smith, of course, is the all-time leader in rushing yards. But which running back is the all-time leader in receiving yards? That's my question.
Okay.
All right, Natalie.
I was going to say you go second, but all right, that's fine. All right. Well, here's mine. Last season, Bijan Robinson had the longest rush in the season with 93. So my question is, which was the last running back before him to have a single rush of 90 plus yards in one game?
Ooh.
Basically, who was the last running back to rush for 90 yards on a single play prior to Bijan?
Ooh.
Prior to Bijan Robinson. Whoa. That's a good one. All right.
So now you're up, Glenn.
Yeah. So tonight we're gonna be revealing our picks for the top 50 running backs in fantasy this year. So So in the spirit of the number, I'm going to pose this question for you. It's a correct response if you are within five of above and below of this number. If you get within five of this number, you'll receive the winner's bell. So how many running backs scored a rushing touchdown last year in the NFL and during the regular season?
Interesting.
So if you are within five units above or below, you get a
Well, we get the credit.
you get credit.
Interesting question there. Very interesting questions for this week. Hopefully, for you people out there, you'll be working your brains on these questions here. While we go ahead and reveal our list here. Now, the first image we're going to show you is the top 10 from each of us, from Natalie, Flynn, and myself. So we will pop that up right about here. There we go. And yeah, it looks like we're very, very similar with our list here. Let's see. So I knew that 1 and 2 was either going to go to Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. So Flynn and I have Gibbs 1, Robinson 2, but Natalie has them flipped around. He's got Robinson at 1, Gibbs at 2. So.
All right. So we want to. So I want you to back up your decision to put Bijan Robinson ahead of Jahmyr Gibbs. So why do you have him over Gibbs?
Yeah, I just think the Falcons have a little bit slightly more upside this season compared to the Lions. And because I could see Bijan doing similar numbers. I think Bijan's going to be more involved in the passing game compared to Gibbs. I see more opportunities for him to get more receiving touchdowns. On the ground, they're going to throw off similar numbers, but the tiebreaker for me was who's going to be more involved in the receiving game, and I think that's going to be Bijan.
Yes. So if you're in other leagues and you get the first overall pick in the draft, you're taking Bijan over Gibbs.
If I was the number one, if I have the number one pick, yes.
Okay.
I think the Falcons have more upside this season than the Lions. I think both of them could very well make the playoffs this season, but I just see a slight more upside. I'm just tipping the scale a little bit, 51-49, but both of these are honestly interchangeable.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you think the Falcons have more upside over the Lions this season, I just think you're dead wrong. Because look, I think the Lions have one of the easiest schedules in the league this year. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to. Jahmyr Gibbs has been a beast for a couple of years. Ben Johnson talked to the press a couple of weeks ago and said that we're going to jam Jahmyr Gibbs down your throats. It'll be a little bit more volume if Isaiah Pacheco is healthy for the start of the season. So you have that as well. And then, but the Falcons, although I still think they have a very good roster, they just have a problem with the quarterback. It also doesn't help that James Pierce got suspended for domestic violence stuff. So you have that as a problem. So I think with the uncertainty of the offense because of the lack of clarity at quarterback because of Tua not being totally 100%, Michael Penix Jr. is still recovering from the ACL tear. I just think when it's all said and done, I think you'll be looking at Jahmyr Gibbs as the running back I would take with the first pick in the draft if I do happen to have that. So. Definitely, I would go with Jahmyr Gibbs over Bijan.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Flynn on that one. My excuse would probably be a stronger offensive line. That's the only thing I can really think of. Like look at the offensive line if they can guard the defenders real well and create those lanes so they can bust through and try to gain some yards on that. So Flynn and I have Gibbs at 1, Robinson at 2. Natalie has him
Yeah.
5th round.
Yeah.
But I
I mean,
noticed, yeah.
well, one thing I actually will disagree with you, Tim, on which team who was a better offensive line to run behind, because Atlanta's offensive line has not been. Detroit's offensive line has not been as stout as we've seen in years past. Because Lions they had the surprise retirement of Frank Ragnow last year, and they weren't really prepared to address it. So yeah, so that's the issue I have with that. But we agree on Gibbs over Bijan. I just disagree on who has a better offensive line to run behind.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, all three of us unanimously have Jonathan Taylor at number 3, which is very interesting.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor was I think he finished as the number 1 or number 2 running back in fantasy last year. So it was him and McCaffrey. So your top 4 were McCaffrey, Taylor, or Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, and Gibbs.
Yeah. There we go. So look at number 4. Flynn has Chase Brown from the Bengals, while Natalia and I both have Run CMC as our number 4 picks. And we have number 5, almost the same kind of thing here. Flynn's got Ashton Genty with the Rams at number 5. Meanwhile, Natalia and I both are taking James Cook from Buffalo. And 6, we're all different here. Flynn's got Saquon Barkley. I have Devon Achane, and Natalia has Kenneth Walker III for the Chiefs. Now, where Flynn had Ashton Genty at number 5, I have it at number 7, while Flynn has Achane at 7, and Natalia has Chase Brown in the number 7 position on his list.
Mm-hmm.
And then where Natalia and I have James Cook at number 5, Flynn has him at number 8.
Yeah, so a couple of caveats with James Cook this year. Now last year he was outstanding with that, but I think a couple of things this year. Joe Brady isn't doing as much of the play calling as he did last year, and the last 2 years where Cook was fantastic. And also, I think one of Buffalo's running game coordinators retired last year. So I think those 2 things give me a little bit of pause. Now, does James Cook have the talent to do damage, and is the Bills' wide receiver room good enough that they wouldn't have to rely on the arm of Josh Allen to get things done? We don't know, but I think he's going to be used a little bit differently than he's been the last couple of years. So that's why I have the yellow. I have the caution flag up when it comes to James Cook.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, but chances are that if he's there in the middle, in the early to mid round 2, there's a good chance I take him in round 2. Mainly because I don't like the alternatives to not having an RB2 like James Cook, but we'll see how our draft transpires, especially when it comes to the running backs and receivers, because so you have that as well. A couple of other things. I think Ashton Genty. the whole situation around Genty is a much better, much better this year than it was last year. With the quarterback, the offensive line, the coach, all three got significant upgrades during the offseason with the Raiders signing Linderbaum, so the drafting Fernando Mendoza, and getting Clint Kubiak, who is an elite play caller. And remember, Kubiak worked with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet in Seattle last year. So you definitely have that to think about, and how effective Seattle was in terms of running the ball, especially in the Super Bowl and in the NFC Championship game against the Rams.
All right. So while Flynn has James Cook at number 8, both Natalia and myself, we've got Omarion Hampton from the Chargers over in our 8th position.
Yeah, I'm definitely high on him. I'm definitely high on him this season because, he's gonna come back from his injury. He's gonna come back stronger and better than ever, and he's gonna be highly involved in the passing game.
Agreed. I think I'm seeing an up season for Hampton this year. Our 9 position, Flynn has Kevin Walker III. I have Chase Brown, and Natalie has Saquon Barkley. Very, I wouldn't say elite running backs, but they're very, very good. And
right, and the reason why we have this top 10 list for all of us, which we haven't done in previous weeks, is because what my opinion is that the gap between the top 10 to 15, top 10, 12, 15 running backs and the rest of the running back class this year, there's a pretty wide gap this year. So I think what you're going to see in a lot of your drafts this year is that you're going to have a heavy emphasis on the running backs. So because like a good amount of teams, so like you'll see with New England and Tampa Bay and the Commanders and the Steelers and the Panthers, is that they might be doing running back by committee. So you're gonna have to get some hero running backs like Gibbs Robinson, or what I like to call robust running backs. So like you have in Saquon Barkley, James Cook, and Devon Achane as examples. So that I think that might be a really key thing to look at depending on how you draft. So maybe if you draft towards the end of round 1, maybe you draft 2 running backs with your first 2 picks because the gap is because the level is going to shrink a lot after round 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And rounding out our top 10s, Flynn has Run CMC. I have Saquon Barkley. And Natalie has, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Lamar Jackson doesn't pass as much as he used to. He does most of the running. He does most of the running, but when he does the handoff.
Hold on, Natalie. Hold on.
I think we objection, Your Honor.
Did you not see the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game last year, Natalie? Did you not see why Lamar Jackson won MVP in 2023? Have you not seen the work Todd Monken did with Lamar Jackson the last 3 years? And you have the he won the MVP in 2023.
I know that. I'm talking about 2025. I'm talking about last year.
Did you see that game against the Steelers and how he almost single-handedly took the Ravens to the playoffs? If it wasn't for Tyler Luke missing that field goal at the end, well, we'd be talking about Lamar Jackson's one of the greatest clutch performances in a big regular season game we've ever seen. The throws he made to likely and Flowers down in the fourth quarter of that game. You're telling me he doesn't throw the ball as much as he used to? I mean, come on, Natalie. I mean, come on.
He does more running than throwing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he does more running than throwing nowadays.
Yeah.
Come on, Natalie. Come on. Yeah, you haven't seen. So you're telling me he's gonna be running a lot with Derrick Henry, who's a future Hall of Fame running back?
That could happen.
I mean, come on, I gotta give you this.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Actually, if I had to give him something worse than that, I'd have to be this. We will just have to see what happens here, because I mean, with this little thing going on here with Natalie's comments on Jackson, that's gonna make me take a look at Lamar Jackson very, very carefully this year.
You just gave me some more reason to root for the Ravens this year, Natalie. Come on.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And also, one other thing I will add before we go to the rest of our individual rankings, that I'm not a believer in Christian McCaffrey this year. I'm just not a believer. So that he's been that he had an insane workload last year, and he didn't really average that much per carry last year. If we're being honest and objective, that he got his fantasy bang for his buck because of what he did in the passing attack, because of all the injuries to Pearsall and Ayuk, that situation blowing up, and Kittle getting hurt as well. So you have that, but now McCaffrey's in his age 33 season, coming off an intense year of getting work, and he's been dealing with some nagging injuries. So that's why I have McCaffrey all the way down to number 10.
So you're saying there might be a possibility that by season's end he could be out of the top 10?
No, I'm saying there's an insane amount of it is such a risky pick this year. If he goes in the first round.
Right. Okay, I got you right there. So with that, now we're going to go to some individual lists right here, counting down from 11 all the way to 50.
Yeah. Tim, do you have your list? Because I want to because I'm about to get home and get settled in. So you start with yours.
I will go ahead and start with mine right here. Let me go ahead and put that right up there. Here we go. So as Flynn said, like from 1 to 10 or 1 to 15, pretty good, but there's that kind of a drop off a little bit. So this is what I have from 11 to 30. I have Derrick Henry, just missing the top 10. Jeremiah Love, the injury, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I got Kenneth Walker at 13. Josh Jacobs, I can see him having kind of a consistent year from last year, maybe. Breece Hall, he's dealing with that groin issue right now. I have Javonte Williams at number 16, the man who has pretty much reinvigorated the Cowboys running offense. He has done a great job of that. Kyron Williams at number 17 for the Rams. I have Travis Etienne Jr. 18. Cam Scatterbo. We'll just have to see how his recovery is done so well, and see if he can get up there and help lead the Giants. I got Quinshon Judkins at number 20. Then I have Bucky Irving at number 21. Of course, we're dealing with the Kenneth Gainwell situation here. So it looks like Bucky Irving may still be the RB1, but I see him having a pretty good year. Bashal Tutin for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have him at number 22. DeAndre Swift. He's a very serviceable running back for Chicago right there. David Montgomery, he's kind of getting up there, but I think he's can still produce a little bit for the Texans right there. Jadarian Price is a young guy that I'm kind of interested in looking at here in the next couple of weeks during the preseason. Travion Henderson for the Patriots. I think I've got him a little bit higher. I've got his teammate Ramondre Stevenson. I got him at number 29. I wouldn't necessarily call them a two-headed monster, but they can be very serviceable. In fact, I think Ramondre Stevenson could be pretty good as a third down back for the Patriots here. Now, I got Tony Pollard at number 27 right now. He's dealing with a slight injury right now. Says it's undisclosed, and if this injury is if it gets more intense, then Tyjae Spears and or Nicholas Singleton could get a little bit of a boost here. Chuba Hubbard, I'm kind of seeing him getting back into the RB1 position over Rico Dowdle, maybe. They were doing pretty good, even though Dowdle did great when Hubbard was injured about a couple of years ago or a year or so ago. I got Stevenson once again at 29. Jaylen Warren at number 30 for the Steelers. I just have to see here. See how that goes with Jaylen Warren helping out the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers right there. Let me go ahead. I'll remove that since we don't need that. And since and what I'm going to do right now is wait, hold a second. Where there's the right button.
Yeah, Tim. I just put up my
okay.
for
Oh
my,
yeah, you're back. Oh, you're back
Yeah.
on there, so you can take controls out now, right?
Yep, I can take control. Yes.
Alrighty. Here we go. I got Kenneth Gainwell at number 31. Doing quite well. And of course, Baker Mayfield is giving him high praise. I got Aaron Jones at number 32. Rico Dowdle, the former Cowboy and Panther now with the Steelers, could be a very serviceable backup. Rashad White for the Commanders, I got him. Kyle Monangai. If I'm not mistaken, he's dealing with a situation right now. Yes, he has a hyperextended knee. So it could be a boost for Rashawn Johnson. Maybe not much of an impact for DeAndre Swift, since I had him ranked a little bit higher. I got a couple of teammates at 36 and 37, respectively. RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins. I've really been impressed with RJ Harvey over the last couple of years. I've been really impressed. J.K. Dobbins, a veteran right there. Nice backup right there. Jonathan Brooks from Texas. Got him in the backup position, number 38. Blake Corum. A nice backup to Kyron Williams in Los Angeles right there. Krosky, what's his name? Jacoby or?
It's a Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Ja'Cory. I was close. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. That guy kind of impressed me over the last half of last season. He was very, very, very good, and I can see some good things in him in next year or so. I got Zach Carbonet, number 41, and then I will have Jordan Mason at number 42 with the Vikings. Isaiah Pacheco, um, he's been with a couple of teams. I think he's been with the San Francisco. I know he's been with San Francisco, and he's been with Kansas City. Right now, he's going to be backing up Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit. I mentioned Tajay Spears. If the Pollard situation gets worse, then the Spears could get a little bit of a boost there. Alvin Kamara. Um, I It seems like every time I want to count him out, I end up getting wrong. He's still doing a pretty good job holding the running game for the New Orleans Saints. Tyrone Tracy. Uh, we'll see if Cam Scatterwood can stay healthy. Maybe Tyrone Tracy could be a pretty good third down back. I got Woody Marks at number 47 for the Houston, Texas. Chris Rodriguez Jr. He's be basically RB3. Tyler Algier, he's getting up there. I think this should probably be Tyler Algier's final season in the NFL, maybe. And then I got Justice Hill for the Ravens at number 50. So yeah, that's pretty much my rest of my 11 to 50 right there.
Okay, so I think going back to the first part of your list here, as I think in Jeremiah Love at 12 is definitely going to be interesting. We're going to take an eye and see what it will be like with his injury situation. So it's definitely going to be interesting, of course, with the Patriots because Josh McDaniels does want to balance out the plan of attack. I mean, Kyren Williams, I think at 17, I think is a little bit low to me. I would think, but so I mean, I think you seemed also to feel a little bit of a risk with Kenneth Walker because he's been dealing with some injuries each of the 4 years that he's been in the pros, and he's been on the injury report several times since then. But Jadarian Price could be an interesting name on your list here, and definitely, and I think I agree with you on who should be the running back one in Washington with Rashad White, and I do also agree with you on what Minnesota's running back room looks like. So I definitely have that as well. So with that being the case, I'm going to reveal my list pretty shortly. Let me just go ahead and pull mine up. So I'm going to start with my list of 11 to 30. Yeah, I love Omarion Hampton. I should get my my microphone on. I haven't plugged it in yet, but see, me yeah, let me get that up right now. So do I sound a little different now with the new with my microphone?
Oh, you sound great.
Okay. So we have that. So Martin Hampton at 11. Derrick Henry is not as pronounced in the passing attack as others are. He's never really been that. He's been a running dominant type of back at 12. I had Kyren Williams at 13. I feel like Kyren Williams, Javonte Williams, and Breece Hall, I think are fine gets in round 3 in the 12-team draft, especially. And I think especially with Breece Hall, especially if you're in a PPR format, I think Breece Hall could make some sense. A little bit higher than what I have. Same thing too with Travis Etienne. DeAndre Swift at 17. I actually do think I do like DeAndre Swift this year more than most, especially with the news of Kyle Monanga's potential injury and if that might nag throughout the season. Jeremiah Love, I have him lower at 18. I have Jacobs at 19, Scadaboo at 20. I think that's a fair ranking for Scadaboo. And then I have Bashal 2 to 21. I have Quinshawn Junkins, David Montgomery at 23, Bucky Irving 24. I actually do think Ramondre Stevenson is going to wind up being the lead back this year. I know Henderson had an inspiring season at Ohio State, but I think Stevenson's getting the bulk of the carry. I think based on what I saw, I think he's been getting the bulk of the work for the Patriots. I have Jalen Warren still at 26. I have Jadarian Price at 27. I think Jadarian Price could be a really, really good get in round 6 of a 12-team PPR league if he's available. Then I round out my top 30 with Travion Henderson, Tony Pollard, and Rashad White. I should have had Kenneth Gainwell on this list is drop like 30.5, as I'll probably cheat a little bit on that, but whatnot. So I have J.K. Dobbins at 31, and we're gonna have a question to answer in a little bit from the chat. I have Jonathan Brooks, Chuba Hubbard at 32 and 33, Blake Corum at 34, Rico Dowdle at 35. RJ Harvey 36, Aaron Jones at 37. I do think the gap is a little bit tighter than what you have, Tim, between the gap between Jones and Mason. I have Ja'Cory Krowski-Merritt at 38, Jordan Mason 39, Chris Rodriguez at 40, Tank Bigsby 41. I do think Isaiah Pacheco could be a really good backup running back. But maybe someone you want to have on your bench in case Jahmyr Gibbs goes down. Same thing too with Tyler Algier. I do think he's gonna last a little bit longer in the league than you think, Tim. So I'm at 43. We still need to see how Charbonnet recovers from his injury at 44. Jonah Coleman at 45. He's been impressive with the Broncos. Dylan Sampson at 46. Woody Marks at 47, Brian Robinson 48, Tyjae Spears at 49, and this is reflected upon the signing of Najee Harris. I have Tyrone Tracy all the way down to 50. So let's answer these questions, guys.
Do you keep Josh Allen, AJ Brown, or Kenneth Walker? I don't have Browns.
So this is a keeper league. Josh
Allen, 100%.
Keep Josh Allen 100%.
Allen, 100%.
Yeah. Josh Allen, that's a no-brainer.
I said if it wasn't Josh Allen, I would say AJ Brown.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Josh Allen's the number one quarterback for a reason.
Yeah. I say Josh Allen number 1, then Brown, then Walker, in that order. But Josh Allen, not only can he work with his arm, he can work with his feet. That's why he's an MVP. So yeah, go Allen. So I guess that settles that. I think we had someone wanting to say hello here, and who was that? Hey, Alex, our buddy, our big time Dolphin fan here. So
ends up.
Yep. So he's doing all right. Wait a minute. He said he wanted to mention something. He's going to the Dolphins preseason game against the Giants. Interesting matchup. Giants and Dolphins on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it's 4 p.m. on Saturday.
Yeah. I know. My Cowboys are playing against the Cardinals in Arizona on Saturday night. It's going to start 9 p.m. Our time, which will mean it'll be 7 p.m. I think that time. So, yeah. Oh, Natalie, Alex had a question for you. You don't have HN. Well,
Mm.
I don't think we've gotten to we haven't even gotten to his list yet. So,
Well, to answer your question,
ooh,
Alex.
Yeah, he
he's got
just,
HN number
yep.
11.
Yeah, he's just outside the top 10, but yeah, it was very close. He definitely has a top 10 upside. Let's see. Then number 12, I put Travis Etienne. I'm not as high as most people are on Ashton Genty this season. I mean, he had a very rough rookie year. I mean, he's due for a bounce back, but we'll see how he does. I mean, I think he might find a connection with Mendoza and Kirk Cousins. We'll see. Number 14, I got Javonte Williams. Number 15, Josh Jacobs. And then 16, I'll go with Kyron Williams. Right now, probably running back 2 in for fantasy purposes, but with back end RB1 upside. Yeah, Jeremiah Love, I can't put him too terribly high. He hasn't played a single game yet this season, so. But if he plays really well, top 10, we'll see. Number 18, Quinshawn Junkins, probably the only player worthy of talking about on the Browns. Number 19, Cam Scatterbu. Although his injury problems concern me right now, I think he's going to have a decent season. Just cracking the top 20, Bucky Irving. I mean, the Bucs are a hot mess right now. Probably going to finish in last place this season. It's a true toss-up between 2 teams for last place, but we'll see how he does there. Number 21, I'm pretty high on David Montgomery. He doesn't have to worry about playing second fiddle to anybody anymore. Number 22, I gotta bump down Breece Hall. I have no faith in the Jets this season at all. Number 23, DeAndre Swift. Put him just about in the middle of the pack there. Number 24, Bashal Tutin. 25, let's see, I got Travion Henderson. 26, Jadarian Price. I'll put him in the middle of the pack. The guy's first season. Then 27, Tony Pollard. Number 28, Jalen Warren. Number 29, Ramondre Stevenson. I figure I would put the Patriots players pretty close to each other. Because, yeah, they're like a 1A, 1B type of thing. They'll probably get equal shares. And then rounding out the top 30, I got RJ Harvey.
All right. That's 11 through 30.
Yep.
So let's go. We'll go ahead and get the second part of his list here.
Yeah, and as you see, I made the update. Yeah. Flynn put in the update. With Chuba Hubbard's injury, I think his stock drops a little bit, and Jonathan Brooks' stock rises a bit. So I have him at 31. And then Aaron Jones of the Vikings goes to 32. Rico Dowdle, 33. I figured I'd put Warren and Dowdle fairly close to each other. Same purpose for J.K. Dobbins. Put him kind of fairly close to each other. And then Chuba Hubbard, 35. Just what I said about Brooks. And then 36, I'll go with Kenneth Gainwell. 37, Jordan Mason. 38, I'm going to go with Kyle Monangai. He's a pretty good insurance policy if you need a handcuff. Same thing with Isaiah Pacheco. And then Rashad White at 40. Blake Corum at 41. This is where the rest of this gets a little rocky. There are some very difficult choices here. 42, I went with Krosky Merritt. And 43, Tyrone Tracy. But if he does something really stupid, he could very well fall outside of this top 50. I think this is his last chance not to screw this up. 44, Tyler Algier. I'll go with Keaton Mitchell at 45. Zach Charbonnet has some injury concerns, so I'm going to put him at 46 for now. But if he can be healthy this season, he'll move up a little bit. 47, Tajay Spears. 48, Woody Marks. And then we got Chris Rodriguez at 49. And rounding out the top 50, I got Father Time himself, Alvin Kamara.
Yep. And I always remember Father Time has never been defeated.
Yep.
So Kyle, he had another note he wanted to send us. I have Rasheed Rice and Bucky Irving as my keepers.
Yeah, Rashid Rice, that's a perfect selection right there. He's going to get a lot of targets. Bucky Irving, I'm a little iffy about right now because the Bucks are a hot mess.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. So, some very, very interesting lists here. Kind of similar, almost similar in the top 3 or 4 of our list here, but but nonetheless, like Flynn said, from 12 or 15, go for 15, then go past that, kind of a gap there. So
Yeah.
And you're really gonna have to read the tea leaves on everybody. I mean, especially with what I think the comments that Baker Mayfield said about Kenneth Gainwell, I think could bode well for his fantasy stock when it's all said and done here.
right. So
all right,
I guess time to answer some questions. I guess.
Yep. All right, so I guess we'll go back to your question first, Tim.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question here, let me just make a little adjustment here. As you all know, Emmitt Smith is the all-time running back leader in rushing yards. My question is, which running back is the all-time leader in receiving yards? And it looks like Alex has made some answers to some questions. First, because he says Keith Byers. Well, we'll just go one at a time here. He says Keith Byers. What do you gotta say?
I'm gonna dip into the 90s. I'm thinking of some 90s caliber running backs. The first thought that came to my mind was Marshall Faulk. I'm gonna go with him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're onto something, Natalie, with the maybe the greatest show on turf maybe helped him out a lot. So yeah, I think I'm on the same page with you. I'm gonna go Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
All right then. So, Alex, if you're still watching, you said Keith Byers, and I give you this. Oh yeah. So it's not Keith Byers. Flynn and Natalie have both agreed on Marshall Faulk.
Right.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Marshall Faulk had a total of 6,875 receiving yards. That's based on 767 receptions out of wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. The target should be a little bit higher here, but I'm looking at statmuse.com. 667 receptions for a total of 6,875 yards. Now, let's see if I see Keith Byers on the list that I have here. They only list the top 25. Alex, Keith Byers, 4th place with 5,661. So he's in the top. He's in the top 5 right there. And since you guys are Giants fans, Tiki Barber was at 7th with 5,183. So So yeah, you guys were right with Marshall Falk with the greatest show on turf.
All right.
Well done.
All right. I guess we're gonna do mine next then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Last season in 2025, Bijan Robinson had the longest rush. It was 93 yards. So my question is, prior to him, who was the last running back to have a 90-plus yard rush?
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought about that one for a little bit. Let's see. And what did Alex say? He said Derrick Henry. He thought it was Derrick Henry. That's a good. That's a good. I mean, he's done some long distance runs before. I'm gonna say it has to be. I'd say a younger guy. Um. Oh wow. Uh, I'm not gonna go with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he is a good runner. I don't know if he's ever run that long. Uh. Wow. I'm gonna take a guess and say Saquon Barkley.
Okay, Saquon Barkley. All right. And Flynn.
Oh man. So I'm torn between two. So obviously Derrick Henry had a 99-yard rush TD, I think in 2018. But I think the question is, did Josh Jacobs have something with the Raiders in a little while back? So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. So he had like a big rushing touchdown to beat Seattle on the road, but the question is, was it 90 yards?
Right.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs.
All right, you're gonna go with Josh Jacobs. All right. Well, first I'll say the year that this happened. The last time a player had a 90-plus yard rush was prior to Bijan was actually in 2024.
Oh.
There was one player that did that. So to recap, I see Alex said Henry, Flynn said Jacobs, Tim said who again?
Barkley.
Okay, let me see, who am I going to start with? All right, I'm going to start with Tim. Tim, you said Saquon Barkley, and in 2024, he was 5th on the list. All right, let's see. Flynn went with Josh Jacobs. Yeah, I don't even see him on this list here. I think Flynn, you're on the right track, but you had the wrong year in mind.
Right.
I know what you're talking about. You just had the wrong year. And as for Alex, Alex was so close. Derrick Henry, huh? Sorry, Tim?
Alex said Derrick Henry.
Okay.
And yes, because I remember Derrick Henry is one of 2 men tied for the longest touchdown run in history. It's Derrick Henry and the Hall of Famer Tony Dorsett.
Yeah,
he might be onto something there.
It's but the year was 2024. That 99-yard run was in 2018.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 2018, so that was the year before.
Yeah, in regards of the 2024, Alex was super close. Derrick Henry was second with 87. Believe it or not, the number 1 player on this list is probably a very forgotten about player. He is probably maybe the 3rd string player now on this team. He's currently a member of the Eagles, but he played for the Texans in 2024. The answer, Dameon Pierce.
Wow, that's a
Damian Pierce.
Yeah, he had a 92-yard rush in 2024.
Wow. Damian Pierce.
Wait, I'm gonna check 2018 just to see because I think Flynn was onto something. Let me check the stats for a second.
Yeah.
Let me see if I could find the one. Yeah, Derrick Henry had a 99-yard rush in that year. So yeah. But then Lamar Miller also had a 97-yard rush, as well as Nick Chubb, some members of the 90-yard club there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Flynn was thinking of 2019, as I don't see him on there. I don't see Jacobs on there either. Maybe it was 2019. No, it wasn't 2019 either. 2019 was Damian Williams. 2020 maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to find the year that Flynn had in mind. I remember that Josh Jacobs thing.
No, it was a game with the rate. It was 2022. I think it was the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay, 2022. Let me see. Okay, I was going.
It was in overtime to beat Seattle. He led the league in rushing that year.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Jacobs was first on the list, but he had 86 that year. That's his
86.
long.
Yeah, 86. Yeah, that was the one in overtime.
All right, so now we have yours, Flynn. Your question now.
Okay, so this is a question where if you will get the winner's buzzer if you are within 5 of this number. So how many total running backs had at least one rushing touchdown last year during the regular season? If you are within 5 above or below, you will get a winner's response.
Yeah, I kind of have a crazy thought here. Because picture this: there are 32 teams. Every running back had to have at least one touchdown, so we got 32 there. And I'm assuming most to all of the backup running backs would have had a touchdown too. So I'm going to add that 32 and 32, 64, and I'll just throw in a few third stringers in there just for the heck of it. So I'm going to say 72.
Okay, so 72. So what's Tim thinking?
I'm thinking maybe a little bit lower. I'm going to go 60.
60.
And what did Alex say? 24. Yeah, I thought he said 24 on the.
Let me find it. I got it here. Okay. He said 24. Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with his then. With 24. Tim, you came up with 60, right?
60.
Was not in range either. It's all up to me now.
And Natalia, you came up with 72. Was that?
Yeah.
72.
All right, I can tell you that Natalia was the closest.
I figured that much.
So the correct answer is 82.
I was off by 10. Ugh.
82, off by 10.
I mean, Natalia was definitely on the right track with the third string running backs, and there were even some fourth string backs that scored touchdowns last year.
Wow!
So 82 running backs scored touchdowns last year.
I'll take that.
I wonder how many.
I'll take it. I wasn't that far off. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I had the right wavelength.
How many?
Yeah, I figured all the first stringers and the second stringers had to have gotten touchdowns. So I just did some simple math right there.
Yeah, I said but Natalia, that's what I would have thought of the an answer to that. So
yeah. So well, I guess with that we'll go ahead and close up shop. We will have our final fantasy rankings show next week. We'll be taking a look at the wide receivers And just like this week, we'll have a top 10 list for each of us, and then we'll have our 31 to 50 for our wide receivers. Then I know we got a couple of shows to do before we get our draft.
We have a lot of content come the week we lead into the draft. Because we have to we have to lock in our season predictions. We have to tell you what our strategies are for drafting. I will base it loosely on the lessons we learned episode we did back in February.
Right.
So we have that and then we have that season prediction show, and we have, of course, the fantasy draft, which is a tradition here, the Friday of Labor Day weekend, which is September the 4th.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Hey, Alex, before we leave here, don't forget, Alex. We're going to get together for week 1. Because when we do our week 1 thing, it's going to be the Fantasy Football Fever Pen and Game Pick'ems crossover show. Since the first game of week 1 is going to be on Wednesday. And it looks like it's going to be week 1 and 12, because I think week 12 is a Wednesday game too.
Yeah.
Where they start the week. So we'll have a couple of crossovers with them here. And I think we have like a season predictions with Pan and Gain. So
September 8th.
September 8th. Yeah, that's right. That's what our first crossover is, September 8th. So let everybody know that we're going to be joining forces on that day. So we'll talk receivers next week. And Flynn is getting almost to the time where he does 2 podcasts a week. He's getting close to that time.
Yep.
So one of course is all NFL, one is all the other sports. So y'all be sure to catch Flynn on your favorite podcasting platforms. Tune in, Apple iTunes, everything there. And of course, some of you may be watching him on his channel right now. That's where he does his show as well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like I said, we'll be back next week. Of course, this is week 2 of the preseason. So check out the games. Check out some of these young players. I've got my eye on one already who made 2 great touchdown catches. Cam Brown. I think he may have made the Cowboy roster. Probably I have to give him wide receiver 5 right now, but we'll just see in the next couple of weeks. So anyway, that's going to do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. We will reconvene 7 nights from now talking about the wide receiver rankings. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the questions, guys. Thanks for the support. Spread the word. Keep this thing going. We can't do it without you. So, next week, that is Sean Flynn. This is John Natali. And my name's Tim McClellan. Thanks for watching this, everyone. Have a great week. Enjoy preseason week number 2. Back here 7 nights from now. Until then, God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. And we'll see you next week.